Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for Tuesday, July the 2nd. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It is the day after Canada Day, the day after the free agent frenzy. The Canucks picked up 5 players. Let's take a quick look at each of them, and more importantly, talk about, does this make this Canucks team a better team than it was last year? We know the big 3 D-men, 2 of them going to be in the staples of our top 6, I think, of D, and then 1 battling for a depth position, and that, of course, is Tyler Myers, Jordy, Benn, and Oscar Fantenberg. Then the Canucks also added depth for their Utica, for their organization overall, but likely guys that will start in Utica. That is forward Tyler Gravac, and that is goaltender Zane McIntyre. Gravac is a big body. He's 6'5", 210 pounds, and really uses his size well, and put up decent numbers actually in the AHL. So it'll be interesting to see if he actually gets a look maybe in the bottom 6 of the big club. And then with Zane McIntyre, you have some goaltending depth for Utica, some veteran presence. I think he's 24 years old, and you won't be thrown into a Michael DiPietro situation of last year. DiPietro called in to play a game that he basically had 24 hours to prepare for. So we probably won't have any of those situations. So again, Gravac and McIntyre giving the Canucks organization some depth, and definitely going to likely start the season in Utica. Let's talk about the 3 forwards the 3 D-men who will likely play a big role for the team. At least 2 of them will, and we'll see what the third guy does. So Tyler Myers, $30 million over 5 years. That's $6 million a year. I put a poll up on Twitter asking you what you think of the contract. 50% of you said it's a good contract. You like the term, you like the money. A few of you said they don't like either. I think that was about 20%, 25%, and the other 25% were split between either too much term or too much money. I think people are, in general, are relieved at the money. We heard reports of $7 or $8 million, so $6 million is a lot more palatable compared to that. And then 5 years, not bad. We heard 6, 7 years as well. In fact, we heard 7 at 7, which I think is what Besser's going to get, by the way. So we heard 7 at 7, so to get 5 years at $6 million is better both on term, both on money. I like this signing. I think he's a good skater. I think if he can play up to his physical stature, he'll be a difference maker. And I think I believe it when Jim Benning says that, they intentionally want to bolster their D with this year's free agency, and they certainly did that. Myers sounds like he's happy to be here. He's not the fastest talker I've ever heard. If you saw his press conference from yesterday, you'll know. Very cool, very calm, very calculated. Maybe that's how he plays. No, I won't say that's how he plays the game, because he is a really good skater for his size. There's a bit of issue about his concern about his gap control and maybe his lack of physicality given his size. But I will withhold judgment until I see him play. Likely play with Quinn Hughes. That will be a very offensive minded pairing. Maybe he plays with Alex Edler, more of a shutdown pairing. We will see. But that is Tyler Myers. Again, $30 million over 5 years. And for free agency, you're going to have to pay a bit more than maybe you think you would. And it sounds like Myers had a couple other suitors, but the Canucks were the most serious suitor of them all. So I'm actually fine with the money and the term, and I don't think it hampers us that badly. Maybe in the last 2 years of the contract, when we're getting even more competitive, but for the next 3 years, at least the first 3 of the 5, I think it's good, and I think he'll provide a good top 4 presence for the Canucks. And it's a no movement clause for 1 year, then moves to a no trade. So we actually do not have to protect him for the Seattle expansion draft, but we got a lot of time to think about that. Then in Jordy, Benn, this signing is being heralded throughout the league, especially among Canucks fans, as a really good signing. 2 years, $2 million a year, so $4 million total. But this guy can do it all. He's basically a quintessential utility man, can play both sides, can do a bit of power play if you need him, but more importantly, even strength, and of course, penalty kill. He plays tough. He's tough to play against. Not the biggest guy ever, but he is tough to play against. A competitor, a leader, all these things. He wants to do well. He's coming home to BC. So I think this, and his analytics are really good. So I haven't heard one person say one bad thing about Jordy, Benn, especially at $2 million a year for 2 years. An excellent signing by Jim Benning. Looking forward to see what he does, likely on the third pairing, either with Stetcher or with Tanev. And then you have Oscar Fantenberg. He's only played 2 years in the league. Last year split between LA and Calgary. He did 6 years in the Swedish Elite League, and then 1 year in the KHL before coming over here. So he's already 27 years old. But we'll see. He's going to be a depth defenseman for sure, battling for the 7th spot, actually. Won't make the top 6 unless there's injuries. But, when you have a a decor with Tanev and with Edler, and I don't mean this sarcastically, you guys are going to get a chance, whether that is Fantenberg, whether that is Biega, whether that is Oli Ulevi. We know we're going to see upwards of 10, 11 defensemen in our lineup, and not just the 6 that we have penciled in to start. But let's talk about those 6 that were penciled in to start. I will say to you, Canucks fans, that I definitely think the Canucks team on paper is much stronger today than it was 2 days ago on June 30th, and certainly a lot stronger than it was, our starting lineup, our opening night lineup, I should say, is going to be a lot stronger than it was for the 2018 season. Let's start in goal and work our way out. Last year's opening night roster had the tandem of Markstrom and Nilsson. Now that is Markstrom and Demko. If we believe that Demko is a better goalie than Nilsson, which I do already, then obviously the goaltending is stronger already. Then you look at the D, and this is where I think you see the biggest improvement. 2018 had a top 6 of Tanev, Edler, Stetcher, Delzato, Goodbranson, Pouliot, with Hutton as the 7th on opening night. For this year, we could see a top 6 of Tanev, Edler, Stetcher, Hughes, Myers, Benn, and then someone like Ulevi or Fantenberg or Biega as our 7th and or 8th defenseman. So really, you're taking out Delzato, Goodbranson, and Pouliot. You're adding Hughes, Myers, and Benn. I think unequivocally we can say that's a lot better this year. There's more speed, there's more size, there's more skill. They're just more solid players, I think. So I think on D, you're going to see the biggest difference over last year, and that's been the one, the Canucks were weak in many areas, but that's the one area where we needed the most help. And our depth will be tested once again, like I said, once the inevitable injuries happen. But that's when you hope a Ulevi, a Fantenberg, a Biega could step up. And then on forward, right now I count 16 forwards that are in the mix for spots, and that's not including any more trades or free agency or PTOs. We still got to sign the 4 RFAs of Besser, Levo, Godobin, and Mott. But basically, this year you're looking at among the 16 guys. The givens are, of course, Horvat, Besser, Pettersson, Miller, Levo, Pearson. Let's try that again. I'm ready. Horvat, Pettersson, Besser. Then you have Levo, Pearson, Miller. Then Virtanen, Gaudette, Sutter, Beagle, Mott, Schaller, Godobin. And I'm sure I missed a guy or two. So I could see an opening night roster, and we can quibble about the lines a little bit. But let's say you start a Berchi, or I forgot to mention, you start a Berchi with Pettersson and with Pettersson and Besser. So you got Berchi, Pettersson, and Besser. Then maybe you have Horvat, Pearson, Miller as a good second line. Then we have a third line of Gaudette, Virtanen, Levo, and the fourth line of Sutter on the wing with Beagle and Mott. That doesn't include Godobin. That doesn't include Schaller. And that doesn't include Louis Eriksson. We've got to figure out what to do with him. And then Antoine Roussel starting this year on the IR because of his knee. Last season he started the season on the IR because of concussion. So you look at the forwards this year, and in essence, Levo and Pearson were mid-season acquisitions last year. Of course, Pettersson and Besser going to be even a lot better by another year. And of course, the acquisition of JT Miller. Those are really the new guys. And then guys that started last year, Granlund's out. We know that he signed with Edmonton. Brendan Leipzig started the season on our fourth line. So those are at least 2 guys. And then Godobin, like I said, we are going to sign him. So really less movement among the forwards, but we know that Granlund is out. And then Gauntz also got signed, but he didn't start with us last year. And then Brendan Leipzig has long gone already, traded midseason. And then you're bringing in guys like Miller, who'll be brand new, and then Pearson and Levo. So Miller, Pearson, and Levo are basically guys that are going to be on the October starting, opening night roster that weren't here last year. And then guys like, of course, like I said, Leipzig and Granlund are among the guys. Brendan Gauntz, but he also didn't start the season. He didn't start in the first game last year. So I think the forwards, you still see an upgrade there. Obviously with the skill with Miller and Pearson in the top 6, and Levo can play second line or third line. So sorry, that was a little bit painful. I was trying to go through all the names. There's a lot of guys, right? We got to figure out, like I said, what to do with the 4 RFAs. Besser, Levo, Godobin, and Mott. Obviously, I think we're gonna sign all of them, but it depends. The big question is for how much. And then that leaves guys, expensive guys like Eriksson, Schaller, Sutter, what they're going to be rolling the team. So the Canucks can't go into opening night with 16 forwards on the roster. Something's got to give, and that doesn't include, like I said, trading or free agency. So maybe we're going to see another buyout. Maybe we're going to see a couple guys buried in the minors. We shall see. But overall, I think that the Canucks are much stronger, not only on paper, but they should be on the ice, of course, too. That it should translate. They're going to be a much stronger team this year. How strong? That is the big question. Obviously, it has a bit to do with the JT Miller trade, but we want to see the Canucks make the playoffs in the next 2 seasons, so that conditional first round pick becomes a lower half of the first round. But regardless of the JT Miller trade, I just want the Canucks to do well for themselves, for the players themselves. By extension, then we fans get to celebrate and get excited. But I want it for the players. I want it for a guy like Horvat, who says he's sick of losing. I want it for guys like Pettersson and Besser and Virtanen and Hughes, because I want to see what they can do in big moments, i.e. playoff games. And I kind of went on a mini, not even a rant, but a mini thing on Twitter last night just before I logged off for the night. And basically I said this. I said, there's a lot of negativity here in the Canucks fan base. That's nothing new, and I talk about this a lot because I'm the antithesis of negativity, right? I'm the GLCPC founder, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. We can quibble a lot about the good looking, but you can't quibble about how positive I am. And I played up a little bit. Obviously, I'm not an idealist. I am realistic. I am relatively intelligent, so I see the holes in our club. But I also don't see why people get so down on them, whether it's media or especially fans. They just, whatever move Jim Benn makes, whatever move Travis Green makes, any simple mistake by any player who you deem to be overpaid, people go to town on them. They rag on them, and they just go to town on them on social media or in person or at the games, whatever it may be. And yes, you have that prerogative as a fan, whether you're paying money, watching TV. I'm not here to judge, right? That's not my MO. That's not my MO. But I will say this. If I'm not judging you for your negativity, I pray that you afford me the same luxury, and that, yes, I'm a positive fan, I'm a paying fan, but regardless of paying or not, I choose to see the good stuff. I choose to be optimistic, and I choose to get excited about what the Canucks can be. I think they're going to improve over last year. Will be enough for a playoff position. We shall see. Might be really tight. I think they're going to be battling for it. But as long as they're in the mix all season, battling for a playoff spot, then I think that's excellent. And I think we're only going to get better. And I think when you look at the roster, all the guys I just spent 12, 13 minutes talking about, we are much better than we were last year, and that should set us up for another 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even 10 or 12 point improvement, and that means we're right in the mix for a playoff spot. So if you don't like Benning, you don't like Green, you don't like some of the players, you don't like some of the signings, that's cool, man. Have at it, but at the same time, don't get too upset when I get really excited about some signings and some good things that Benning did, and I don't jump on his back all the time, because I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that's part of being a part of the GLCPC. But I think we all want the same thing. We want the Canucks not just to make the playoffs, not just to win a few games. We want the Canucks to win a Stanley Cup. It's going to take a while to get there, but I would say unequivocally that the moves we made yesterday and over the past 10 days with the draft and with the trade for JT Miller, they get us closer on this long, winding road to a Stanley Cup. Canucks fans would love to read your comments. Leave a comment below. I'd love to read, react, and reply. I love it when you don't always get a chance to, reply to everything. But trust me, I do read every single comment, because I appreciate you taking the time not only watch these videos, but to leave a comment below. So please do so. I'll try my best to read, react, and reply. Subscribe if you like to. Like this video if you like to. Enjoy the day. God bless, and go Canucks go.